ឆ្ងាញ់ស្រស់ស្រាយត្រជាក់ចាន
ធនាគារជាតិម៉ុងទាំងអស់កែនទូទាត់តាមរយៈ KHQR របស់ធនាគារជាតិម៉ុងឬទៅកាន់ធនាគារដែលជាសមាជិករបស់
ក្រសួងសុខាភិបាលថៃនៅថ្ងៃអាទិត្យទី 10 ខែកក្កដាឆ្នាំ 2022 បានរាយការណ៍ពីការរកឃើញករណីឆ្លងជំងឺ COVID-19 ថ្មីៗចំនួន 2004 ករណីបន្ថែមទៀតក្នុងរយៈពេល 24 ម៉ោងចុងក្រោយនេះបានតាមការចេញផ្សាយដោយសារព័ត៌មានថៃបាងកកប៉ុក្រៅពីការរកឃើញករណីឆ្លងថ្មីៗខាងលើអ្នកជំងឺចំនួន 22 អ្នកបន្ថែមទៀតក៏ត្រូវបានរាយការណ៍ថាស្លាប់ផងក្រៅពីការរកឃើញករណីឆ្លងថ្មីៗខាងលើអ្នកជំងឺចំនួន 22 អ្នកបន្ថែមទៀតក៏ត្រូវបាន
country.
Hi, are you ready? Let's dance! If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, clap your hands.
unless there is some sort of international. Now, the cause of this, analysts say, the crisis largely the result of poor economic decisions by the president, by the Rajapaksa family, really, because Rajapaksa's brother was the prime minister up until recently. This new prime minister who saw his home set on fire yesterday, he was basically brought on as a replacement, but they're not happy with him either. And they've long been calling for the president to step down. He hasn't listened to those protesters. There was an interview with one protester who said that what made her so sad is that, had the president listened to the public calls to step down sooner, then a lot of the violence and damage could have been avoided. He had 100,000 people outside of the president's residence. They stormed the house. They hung up banners. They swam in the swimming pool. The president wasn't there at the time. He has been taken to a secure location. The prime minister as well. But just the destruction and damage, protesters on the ground are saying could have been prevented had the ruling elite listened to the public sooner. Public who is really, really struggling, and they've struggled through COVID. They struggled through that awful cargo ship fire that washed plastic pellets up onto their beaches. And prior to that, it was the Easter bombings that I covered back in Colombo that took a huge toll on the Sri Lankan tourism industry. So as a nation, Sri Lanka's had a really rough go of it for the last several years.
Yeah, absolutely. So now the people there who are protesting, I mean, they aren't necessarily united in who they want to see lead the country. The opposition that's supposed to lead the country, I mean, they're not united either here. What are the consequences if the new government can't steer the country out of this mess? Are we looking at a failed state here?
Well, that certainly has been the case, in other times of crisis in Sri Lanka where there have been militant groups that have popped up. And that's not what anybody wants to see happen. Sri Lanka was, prior to the Easter bombings at least, really starting to stabilize. The tourism industry was starting to grow. It has some of the most beautiful beaches in the world. There's great food. The people are very warm and kind. All the ingredients for a really successful destination just to the south of India. So basically tourists anywhere from Africa, Europe, Asia can all get there relatively easily. Visas are easy to get. It should be a nation that should thrive and prosper. And yet what's happening is that people are truly suffering. And that's right. If they don't have a leader who can unify all of these different factions, it could be extraordinarily turbulent times to come for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, all right. Well, listen, thanks so much for your analysis of the situation there. Will Ripley in Taipei, thanks so much.
Japan has lost a true patriot and a true leader. And Australia has lost a true friend. The friendship that Mr. Abe offered Australia was warm in sentiment and profound in consequence. To the broader Japanese family, your Australian friends share in your sorrow and we share in your grief. We stand with you in this time of sadness.
Australia's Prime Minister there paying tribute to Shinzo Abe. In the city of Melbourne, buildings were lit up in the colours of the Japanese flag on Saturday night to honour the late Prime Minister. As regional neighbours, Australia and Japan have had a close and cooperative relationship for many decades, and Abe's role was critical. Well, right now, parliamentary elections are underway in Japan just 2 days after Abe was brutally gunned down in broad daylight near Osaka. At stake are 125 seats in the upper house of parliament. Abe was killed while campaigning for his Liberal Democratic Party Friday. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken will travel to Tokyo on Monday to pay his respects. And we're also getting details about the suspect's statements to police. CNN's Blake Essig joins me live from Tokyo. And Blake, so let's start there with what we're learning about Abe's killer, accused killer. What can you tell us?
Well, Kim, earlier today we actually caught a glimpse of the man suspected of murdering former Prime Minister Shinzo Abe when he was moved from a police station in Nara where the assassination took place to the district prosecutor's office. Now, it's important to note that even though he has admitted to the shooting, that at this point he hasn't been formally charged. Meanwhile, Kyodo News has spoken